Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Johnson, Boris Blank.
So Boris, lovely to see you again. We haven't seen each other for quite a few years.
I remember you had some hair.
Yeah.
Like long hair, even if, so
very long blonde hair.
Exactly. Yeah. So it must be like 20 years.
It's got to be. Yeah, 20 years. Now, the first time I'd heard of Yello, which would have been probably around about 1980. At that time, I thought Yello was a San Francisco band because I was very interested in the residents. In fact, I was trying to get signed by Ralph Records. I used to send them demos and they used to send me feedback. And so I was quite interested in the San Francisco music scene at that time, bands like Tuxedo Moon, Chrome, of course the Residents, and of course Yello. You released Solid Pleasure was your first release, and it was on Ralph Records. So
yeah, that's right. So we are like 1 year ahead of you, because I had the same affinity to bands like Chrome, as you mentioned, and the Residents. So we decide like 78. Traveling to San Francisco and meet the guys personally, call them just because we get the address on the backside of the sleeve of, I can't remember the name of the album anymore, and they just say, yeah, please welcome on a Sunday afternoon to the studio of Ralph Records, I mean to the Residents' personal studio. Later on we of course find out that the people we met are members of the Residents.
So they didn't let on at the time, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. So they play first their music, and then we say, yeah, you know, we come from Switzerland, and say, oh, Sweden, right? Yeah, and we had some cassettes, you know, music cassettes in our pockets, and we play it to them, and they are quite fascinated about the music. Even the tape hiss was a bit louder than the music itself. So at the end we have a special delivery letter back in Switzerland with the offer of a contract of the Residents. Fantastic. Finally, it finds the way thanks to Ian Tregoning, the CEO of the Do It Records company here in London, who brought the West Coast band Yello, so to say, to London, and that was also, I guess, one of our first meeting we had with you here.
That's right. And Ian, of course, has had a very long professional, personal relationship with you and Dieter, and we would have met several times during around about that period as well. Oh my God. That's not really bad either.
Oh, that's how you look.
Oh, Boris, you've changed.
Yeah.
So let's go back in time a little bit to your school days, because there are certain similarities between us. The continual tapping and knocking whilst at school. Now, I was always sort of tapping things and whacking things, and my nan used to say, "What's the matter with you? Have you got St. Vitus dance?" That was an insult. Calm down, because I was always tapping and banging, and at school as well. And you had a similar experience, didn't you?
Yeah, that's true. I had, you know, I used to be fascinated, and I always had an affinity to sound, of all kind of sounds and noises which occur on this planet. As I went to a holiday, usually in summertime, with my parents to the mountains. There's beautiful Swiss mountains, and I started to shout against these rock walls, and I felt that as shorter the wall, or the distance to the wall, the shorter, of course, the echo was. As longer the distance, the echoes coming back multiple. So that was my first experience and my first fascination to sounds and noises. Later on then in school, as you say, you're also a guy who is knocking and drumming on all kind of things and here and there to find out the acoustic or the resonance of a room. It's always good if you knock even on this silver screen. It has a certain acoustic, So I also drum on my school bank. It was in a German lesson, I remember, and the teacher told me, Blank, please stand up, and I have to stand up. And he said, till tomorrow you write, what do you call this, punishing?
Yeah, it's, well, you have detention or you get
punishing
punishment.
work
Yeah,
or something.
yeah, yeah.
Writing lines.
Writing
Yes.
lines and...
So, with the title, Knocking Science, the Media of the Primitives. So that was a challenge for me, and I remember I just write the only thing within these 2 pages of this work. I was so glad that I finally find someone who understands my knocking science. You know?
Fantastic, yeah.